And the good thing about being a last speaker is whatever needs to be said is said. And so there is nothing much more to be said. After participating in all these World Social Forum, I begin to think in World Social Forum itself is in a crisis. Crisis of repetition, a crisis of redundancy, because we are very good in analyzing the problem. We are not very good in identifying solutions. As Rahul must be knowing that some of us who have been participating in this meeting, as our friend said, have been hearing all these issues. And I keep asking ourselves, the key issue is what kind of politics we need. Actually, we need more politics, not less politics. And then, whether that set of politics can transform, whether the proletariat become Politburo, what happens? That's a big question we need to ask. And I believe it's clear that we cannot afford to have a world like this. It's very clear. It's clear because what we are seeing, what we are witnessing as financial crisis is a symptom of a much deeper crisis. And that crisis is a ethical crisis. And we have not talked about, ethics. I think we should begin with ethics. Because unless democracy is primarily about the value system, and then we have to ask, whose value system? When we talk about whose value system, it's primarily about those who are at the receiving end of unjust and unequal power relationships. So we have to begin to talk about, as my friend said, democratization as different from democracy as a system. Democratization should begin at our home. The way we, in our own behavioral pattern, the way we behave with our children, with our partners, and that democratization process should happen in communities, in organizations, in a society which is very highly patriarchal, in a society which is highly hegemonic. Whatever votes you make it, whatever system you impose on it, it's not going to change. So it is time that we begin to talk about a transformative politics. A politics which can transform power relationships. Power relationship at the personal level, power relationship at the institutional level, and power relationship in terms of knowledge, technology, and consumption. So I just do not want to take too much of time. I have only 2 or 3 points, but the first point is, how do you combine the politics of protest with the politics of proposal? That's a very, very key challenge for us as activists, as who are dreamers and thinkers. Second thing is, how do you really institutionalize the democratization? That's a contradiction in terms, because all institutions are about power. And how do you manage power and interest when it comes to value system? Because if you really look at all the mother of all institutions, Catholic Church, what happens? In the whole history of this institution says it's about hegemony. It's about institutionalizing a value and using power for extraction and exploitation. Whether it's the church, whether it's the state, or even whether it's a political party. So to my mind, 4 kinds of democratization is fundamental for any transformation of our relationship. This is to do with the first is democratization of knowledge. Even after decolonization, our language, our knowledge system have not been decolonized. And democratization of knowledge, democratization of economy, democratization of technology, and democratization of politics. And the whole project of democratization will have to be based on an ethics of justice, an ethics of sharing and care. And to sum up, friends, we are living at the crossroad of history, a profound time of challenge and a profound time of opportunity. And unless we create a new poetry, we